What's up, everybody? It's your boy Matt Kuster coming back with Tottenham Talk. Oh, wait. Clay, you here?
We're here.
Forgot Clay's coming on with us today because he's got some good things he wants to say about a nice 2-0 win against West Brom. Man, I'm excited. I'm back.
Matt, I'm excited for this one because we can be excited again and we do an episode. The past 3 episodes we've been like sad and somber, but we are back to a winning Tottenham team and more. There's more so than 3 points, I think, and 2 goals. It's Harry Kane is back, first of all, and second of all,
ankles are holding him up, which is high.
We played attacking football for the first time since Pochettino. Legitimately, I don't think I've seen Jose field a team with that intent and style of play since he's been manager of our club. Have you?
Heck, I mean, there might have been a couple games in the past, but it has been a while.
So here we go for this episode. We're really going to kind of recap this, and we got a lot of comments from you guys on questions and thoughts based on the game. So we're actually going to start off a new thing every week or every time we have a game where we're going to have a separate episode for your guys' thoughts and questions, where we kind of pick those apart, pick the 3 or 4 maybe best ones that we like, dissect them, and kind of like go from there. So today we're really just going to try to analyze the match. What does this mean for us? Are we back in the race? Are we back in top 4 race, title race? What are our options here? So be sure to stay tuned for the whole thing. Let's get into it, Matt.
I'm excited. This is a good one, especially because I guess I'll start the episode off, Clay. We're sitting in 7th right now. And here we go. We're sitting in, oh, no, I lied. We're sitting in 8th.
Yeah.
With 36 points. And looking ahead, you have in front of us, you have Everton, who's got 21 games played. So they still have a game in hand, sitting at 37 points. But, I mean, above that is the 39 points with West Ham, 39 with Chelsea, and 40 with Liverpool. And, heck, Leicester's at 3rd with 43 points. So it's really not – I mean –
It's ours for the taking right now. And Jose said, Tottenham are going to finish where they deserve to finish. And that – I love it.
Hey, not only that, though, you've got – those behind us too. I mean, Aston Villa's in the race. You could honestly say Leeds United's in the race.
Arsenal are only a few points behind us.
Arsenal's on 31 points with 23 games played. It's tough because of all these. It
is tough. It's a different year with like the, games at hand and things like that. But honestly, I'm trying not to worry about that. Every time I see a game at hand, I try to give a team 3 points for that game, regardless. You know what I mean? Because you just got to kind of expect the worst, and no matter what. So Everton has, whatever it is, 2 games at hand compared to everyone else, 1 game at hand to us. So really just give them an extra 3 points. But, that's a lot of math with all throughout the table, and it's a lot of this and that and what ifs. So let's not even worry about that. Let's talk about what a wonderful performance that was for the first time since it seemed like 2020 was a horrible year for everyone. And it seemed like it just didn't get much better in 2021, especially for Spurs. But hey, who knows? Now it's looking like we might be onto something. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself because I think Jose has a lot to prove, and he's in the doghouse for sure in terms of the 3 losses and the way we've played. But if he can keep the Tottenham team playing like this, we can do great things. We can beat Everton on Wednesday. We can beat City at the weekend. Maybe that drops them into a poor run of form. The last person that beat City, I think, was us.
Yeah, it was, because they lost to only us and Leicester.
And that's incredible.
Yeah. So,
we're there, the opportunities for the taking. Let's start off talking about there's so much to get into. We don't want to get carried away. Let's start off with, the lineup, a new looking lineup once more. And what do you think about it? I mean, we saw Lucas and Lamela come in for the, 10 spot and the outside right wing spot. And Tanguy kind of dropped next to HOYBE. Now, what were your thoughts on that? Because we've talked a lot about how we like Tanguy at the 10 spot because it gives him the opportunity to create. But yesterday, I thought I couldn't have pictured a better system than what we did yesterday.
Yeah, it is definitely. I see what you're saying. It's definitely interesting to see Tanguy sit. It looks like in the starting lineup he sat back a little bit in the 4-2-3-1 formation.
No, he did. That's what I'm saying. Is like
yeah. Well, I'm going off of just the PremierLeague.com right now. I'm looking at just how it was lined up. And yeah, it looks like he sat right under Lamella and played like a Højbjerg spot.
Yeah.
Which,
It was great because I think Jose's onto something with this, because you look at it with the level of work rate that Tanguy can give in any given game. He hasn't been match fit for most of the season. He hasn't been able to play 90 minutes at the 10 spot. So that means he's probably not going to be able to play a good full 90 minutes at the, CDM spot, or he's probably playing more of an 8 in all honesty. But now, he's strung together a couple 90-minute games, and, we're able to see him really, really perform well in a spot where he has defensive responsibilities and attacking responsibilities. But in all honesty, we didn't even worry about the defensive responsibilities because we were attacking so hard. We had such a high line of press, which, man, it is refreshing and relieving to see that. What do you think? Don't you think? I mean,
well, not only that, it's nice to see Jose experiment a bit, and I think Tanguy is one of the best players to experiment with, especially with the 4-2-3-1 formation. Give him a little try in that, more of a deeper role, to see what he can do with you, because he's so incredible on the ball. He's so incredible, taking a player on or two.
It's kind of like that Lo Celso role we've talked about before, where you like to see Lo Celso dribble at the back line. Well, Tanguy can kind of do that too. And if he's coming from a deeper position, he might have the opportunity to get more players out of their position, defensively. So I was excited to see that, because things weren't working the way they were. So when that happens, you got to change it up. And honestly, I don't want to give full credit to Jose right now, but I think we kind of got to give him a little bit here, because when Tottenham doesn't play well, it's Jose's fault. And when we do play well, it's because the players are good. And I think that's something we got to look at and kind of focus on, because Jose needs credit both ways. If we're going to blame him for playing poorly, we got to, give him credit for playing well.
Yeah.
And he in his press conference, he talked about, it's all on the players. He loved the players, which I love to see from a manager, not, being humble about it. But in all honesty, he had to have something to say about that. I don't see how just the players going from the atrocious style of play from Chelsea to playing that attacking football, like we saw yesterday.
Well, do you think it could be impact of Kane?
And I'm glad, I knew you're going to say this, but I don't know. We talked about it earlier. If Kane is that much of an impact, I don't think so. I think it's coincidence. Yes, Kane is incredible, but I mean, we were playing horrible even with Kane against Liverpool and previous, games previous to that. So is it because of Kane? I think that's a stretch. I think, does Kane help? Of course he helps. I think his lead by example mentality is something that you don't get out of a lot of other players. But
yeah,
I think everyone was just, in all honesty, everyone was fed up. Jose was fed up. The fans are fed up. Levy's probably fed up. The players are fed up with the way things were going. I mean, last time we had 3 losses in a row was 2012. Come on, I
mean, we had 65% possession, which I love to see.
That's amazing.
I love that. I love being, the type. I mean, with 13 shots and almost half of them being on target, that's perfect.
In every way, we dominated the game.
8 corners. I mean, it sounds like to me we should have some, maybe a couple more goals, which, maybe, but like, I mean, 2-0 is still a good win.
It is. And you saw in the first half, we probably could have put a couple more away. I know Kane had 1, maybe 2, Son maybe had 1. And that's okay, But the important thing is that when halftime came, we didn't say, crap, we didn't put those goals away. What are we going to do? Jose said he only had like a 2 or 3 minute halftime. And he just said, nothing wrong with that. You have to do exactly that, and the goals will come. And they did, and they came. So minus a few defensive errors here and there, I thought we played pretty well. And it almost looked like, those when they scored 2 goals, but they were both called offsides with VAR. And I think it kind of looked like we were trying to keep them offside. So if that's intentional, that's okay. But if it's not, then that's something to look out for, because otherwise players will be able to sneak in behind like that. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. You kind of cut out there. I ain't gonna lie. So I was trying to think of an answer. But say that again.
So like if you looked at the the times that they scored 2 goals, but both of them were called offsides and taken back, it looked like Sanchez was almost purposefully trying to hold him offsides and kind of hold that offsides trap type of thing. But I worry that it wasn't on purpose, and when it's not on purpose, that means that we got lucky.
An error by him.
Yeah, exactly. That means we got lucky. So if with the high line that we were playing, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a purposeful offsides trap type of thing. But it worries me, and our defense still worries me. But I had an interesting thought. We change our defense almost every game. I think we have to keep the same lineup. If we play well with it, and the team plays well, I think we got to keep it. What do you think?
I mean, yes, but they can't. I mean, they won't. They're not. I mean, they're not fit enough. Well, they're not. They're fit enough. It's just
too many games.
You can't have your same back line every single game. I mean, it's
well, at least for the Premier League. How about that? At least for we got to keep some sort of consistency, even if it is Sanchez in the back. That people,
but like I don't know,
are terrified of having.
I would rather be in a position where you can choose any defensive player you have, no matter what game it is, whether it's Prem, a Cup, or Europa, and have confidence with that back four or back three, no matter who you pick.
It's tough though, dude. It really is tough because
it's tough. But like, imagine like
no one has that. I mean, no team really has. What about them?
I mean, they have arguably one of probably the best back line in the Prem.
I think that if we're gonna do that, we got to have 2 set back lines. For a midweek game, for a weekend game, and if injuries come or poor performances come, then we trade it out. But like,
so what do you do though when you have an injury in a Prem game where someone needs to get replaced?
No, I get that, and you have to do that. But what my point is that the past 4 games we've seen, I'm pretty sure 4 totally different back lines in the Premier League alone. And you can't do that. You need some sort of consistency. It's the same thing we talked about at the beginning of the year, that a new back line with new players, they're going to need time to play together. And if you're switching it up, every defender has their own way they do things and their own little intricacies that kind of change the game a little bit. And if you are constantly changing that, you can't really get into a rhythm or a flow of consistency. It's the same reason that Yan and Toby were the best center back pairing in the league, because they had that so much together, you know what I mean? With Danny Rose and Kyle Walker, and that was it. So, yes, we're going to have to make changes here and there.
Back to those days, though, Clay, we had the 2 Belgian beasts. Oh.
Could you imagine those guys today in the back with our attack today? Wow. We'd be the best team in the league for sure. Wow. Anyway, we can dream all we want, but let's keep talking.
That was a confident back line, though. I remember I was not worried about any team we played.
No, I mean, I'd brag about it. We have the best back line in the league. No chance, maybe the world type thing. But anyway, let's move forward. Let's talk about a couple players that I think deserve some recognition in yesterday's game, and that's Lamela and Lucas. In the Chelsea match,
actually, a lot with that.
The Chelsea match was probably really well. It wasn't probably. It was atrocious.
You know what? It was weird. It was we saw Lamela start.
Well, that's my point. So let's look at the Chelsea game, right?
Okay.
That was atrocious, right? Yep. Atrocious. We can all agree on that. But when Lamela and Lucas came in, things started to maybe look up a little bit. We got a couple more chances. Like you said, the last 5 minutes, it looked like we might, we turned it on, in the last 5 minutes. And obviously that's not good enough, but it's about time that Jose gave them a chance, and I'm not the biggest Lamela fan by any means. I'm not. I don't think he's incredible by any means, but I think it was rightfully deserved that he got a chance, because him and Lucas were kind of the reason that, we didn't look like absolute as bad as we did against Brighton, against Chelsea. And that was only for the short time that they were on. So I was happy to see them start. Or I wasn't necessarily happy, but I wasn't surprised. And, I was at a point where it's like, you know what? Nothing else is working. Why not try it? You know what I mean?
Maybe on paper, yeah, you might have you might second guess it, but like.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
There's a reason behind, I think, I think so many, I don't want to go off a tangent here or anything like that, so I'm going to make sure I'm on the right track here. With Lamela, he's like a love-hate player. I don't really know
He
anyone.
totally is. He
I don't
totally is.
really
He's,
know anyone that.
he plays for the badge, but then he's like, sometimes you see him do things and you're like, this guy was our Bale replacement.
Exactly.
It's like,
And so, when you see him start in Tanguy's position, a couple of questions might rise in your head, but at the same time, like part of being in the managing role of Jose is you gotta you gotta be able to take risks. You gotta be able to try things new if things aren't working. And
totally.
coming off of 3 straight losses, it was time to do that. And not only does Jose see that, but in the players as well. The players see it themselves. And so,
Definitely.
for Lamela to have a starting against, West Brom, who's a team we should beat at home in a cam position, I thought was very interesting but promising. And he showed it. I mean, I love his. He's kind of reminds me of like Lo Celso in a way when it attacks that back line.
Yeah, no,
A
he has
couple
that
times
attacking
really
flair.
confused.
Yeah,
And
he,
there's a
he
couple
did really
times
well a couple times.
say that again. What?
He did do it well a couple times, making
Oh
runs
yeah.
in and stuff.
And then I mean, of course, there's gonna be times people are gonna be devil's advocate and be like, "Oh, he dribbles too much," or whatnot. And everyone does. Uh, it happens, but it all comes down to how you grade a player. And I think with that cam position, that person who plays it has to figure out, okay, how we can get chances. Can I shoot? My first instinct is probably going to pass. Who is making the run? All that stuff. And it was a little bit of everything. I loved the part where I think it was the first half. Yeah, it was the first half. And LaMelo tries to curl one
Yeah.
over. Okay, that's fine. I love that.
So I honestly, I totally agree. I totally
I
agree.
love that because there's probably a higher probability of the time that he's going to put that on frame, and heck, we could get a rebound. But not only does that happen,
Wait,
but
yeah. Go ahead.
from him
Finish your thought.
shooting, I feel like also encourages other players to, okay, I can shoot this, and I feel like Kane kind of brought that to.
Let me stop you right there because I love what you just said. I love what you said about when he shoots, other players could shoot. But you know what? From a defensive standpoint, if you're West Brom and you see the players are willing to shoot from 20 yards out, you got to be able to. Now you have to say, okay, well, you know what? That was close. We got lucky there; it didn't go in. We have to step to that now. And when then next thing you know, you have to step to that. Then next thing you know, you can ping it around them, their defense, and it's game over. And I hate when teams and players look for the perfect opportunity because guess what? There's never going to be a perfect opportunity, especially in the Premier League. You got teams that defend too well, that are too good at whatever their system is, especially a team like West Brom, which is just going to sit in and
hope for
you know
a draw.
what? 11 guys behind the ball, and you know what? You're spot on in saying that Lamela. Yes, was that a great shot? Probably not. He was falling, but in all honesty, he's ambitious, and we need that in our attack right now. And if he's going to bring that over someone else, I'm fine with that. Whatever it is, we look back and we've talked about it. We've had a lot worse team and done so much better.
Well, you wonder, Clay, Lamela playing that spot. You wonder, like, if Tanguy plays that spot, if Tanguy ends up, being a little ambitious sometimes and taking a couple shots, which we know that he can shoot sometimes, but like, it's it's so interesting to see what players bring what in certain positions,
Definitely.
and how much of a positive impact that can make. And
Totally
like I said, Lamela's that love-hate player type of guy. He's kind of just there. He can do. I mean, he's a phenomenal dribbler. He understands the game. There's nothing I think against him. I mean, he's a sub. What do you expect from a sub?
Yeah, well, and he can be a starter if for the time being, and while we need Lo Celso or Dele to be fit, and even if once they are fit, he's still playing like this and we are succeeding, then keep him in there. He deserves it. But it's funny, you said he's kind of a love-hate player, and he's honestly if the Tottenham fan base was a player, it would be Eric Lamela. Because like one day you have players or you have fans saying, I don't understand how I supported this club. Like, what is my life? And then next thing you know, it's like, I love my club, my one and only club, type of thing. And it's just like the up and downs of being a fan here at this club is part of the awesome experience of it. But at the same time, it's totally Lamela, There's times where Lamela will be like, people will be like, I can't believe we have a player like him stepping on the pitch in a Tottenham jersey. And then there's times where it's like, Eric Lamela is our savior, you know? And so I love it. And honestly, he deserves positive vibes right now and positivity going towards him. So
Good overall performance.
yeah, definitely. Definitely on the short list for man of the match. So make sure you listen up for see who we picked for our man of the match. Anyway, let's talk about Lucas a little bit more specifically too. What do you think Lucas brings to the game that maybe Bergwijn doesn't, or probably more specifically, Bale doesn't?
Heck, I think Lucas is teaching Bergwijn how to play the position because Lucas, when he gets the ball,
that is a great point.
He is going to take off and he's going to get by that guy that he needs to get by. The closest defender near him, he will take a couple touches, get around him, and assess his situation after that. So one thing I love about Lucas is he's looking to explode. His acceleration, his speed is unmatched. Honestly, I mean, he's one of the fastest players, I think, in the Prem. And, you know, when he gets the ball, you know immediately what he's doing. Same thing with Son. You know what Son's trying to do with the ball.
Right.
So I think Bergwijn is going to be taught a lot and learn a lot off Lucas because I feel like they're very similar.
I totally agree.
Players.
Yeah,
I think Bergwijn might be a little. No, you're fine. I think Bergwijn might have a couple more qualities that Lucas might have in terms of maybe finishing. But heck, maybe not. I don't know.
I was going to say. I'm not sure.
Well,
maybe not this season. I know what you mean.
Did I? I meant to say the other way around.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll go with that.
Point is, I do think though, Bergwijn is learning a lot off of Lucas.
No, you know, I think that's a great point that I hadn't actually thought about before. In terms of, you know, is Lucas, you know, kind of a more veteran Spur, you could say, kind of teaching a person like Bergwijn, which we value Bergwijn. I think our team looks better with him in it, but when he can't finish and stuff like that, you know, and his confidence level and things like that. The thing I love about Lucas is whether he's a 5-minute sub, a 20-minute sub, or a 90-minute player, he's going to give it his all and he doesn't care. You know, he's like, I love this club. I love this team. I'm going to play for the badge. I'm going to play, you know, I just want to help the team win. And that type of mentality, especially as a attacking player where your job is to score and you can easily fall into negative ruts where you're not scoring and this and that. And maybe I didn't play as much today. Lucas always brings it, you know, and that's a trait that is really hard to teach. And I hope that, you know, Bergwijn could maybe learn off of that. And going off of his technical skills yesterday, I mean, he opened up and destroyed West Brom, not single-handedly, because I think Harry Kane's chest like pass around the West Brom player, that's incredible. But you know, once he did get the ball, the way he brought it up, drew all the West Brom players out, and then cut in and just laid a perfect ball for Son to just Son could have closed his eyes and finished it. That's how good it was. You know what I mean? It was on a silver platter for him. So really, really good game from Lucas as well. You know, that second goal in particular, he's got to get all the credit for, not all of it, but I mean, a lot of the credit for that. So yeah, I love that point about him being a teacher for Bergwijn, or kind of a leading by example.
I think that's one of the reasons why we also picked him up, is because he's got a very similar motive, a very similar type of way of playing like Lucas does.
Well, you know, Bergwijn has a higher ceiling than Lucas. I think, you know, in his career, he could be better. You know, his potential is probably more, but if he could pick up a couple things that Lucas exhibits, you know, it's some intangible stuff that could really make him a really, really world-class player and quick. Yeah, I'm glad we talked about Lamela and Lucas. They deserved it 100%. Any other players you wanted to,
for sure.
Any other players you wanted to hit on in particular?
I mean, we always could talk about Kane, but I think that's
so okay, yeah, let's talk about it. I mean, do you think, you mentioned it earlier, is the reason for us playing well like this again, what is that? What's the cause of that? Is that Kane? Is that Jose? Is that the players saying, I've had enough? What do you think it is?
I don't know. Kane's a leader. I feel like West Brom's a team that like we're pretty comfortable in playing against. I don't know.
Well, you look at it historically, every time we play West Brom, you know, previously when they were in the Premier League, we'd always tie them. It'd always be a team that we tied. And it's funny to look at it now. We beat them both times, which is huge.
Yeah.
That's good for confidence, but you're right. I mean,
to your point though, I think Kane brings a different level. I think
Yeah,
I think I think a lot of it is him and Hodge. I think Hodge kind of expresses a lot what King brings. But it's I mean, yes, one player can, you know, be that deadly in terms of their attractive personality on the pitch, and people want to follow them. They're leaders. But having Kane and Hodge together, and you have kind of Kane controlling the front and then Hodge kind of controlling the back, and they're both on the same page.
totally.
I think I definitely believe that leadership is something that would lead us to a 2-0 win. I mean, you can't obviously teach leadership, but that's something that you're not a leader if no one follows you. And with Kane, I feel like he sets a standard and expectations. And when he's on, I just think it's a completely different game. No matter, even if we play and we don't win or we play poorly, I just think he's that crucial. Besides his quality of soccer, for one, there's a whole side to him that I think makes him so valuable, and that's his mentality. Um,
Totally
and that's
agree.
why he likes Tom Brady so much.
You know, and that's the Super Bowl is yesterday. Yes, we are American. Yes, let's connect that. There's a reason. Okay, for us personally, anyone listening, Matt and I, we kind of have to hate Tom Brady and the Patriots because of where we're from in the United States. But in all honesty, you look at a player like Tom Brady and a person like Harry Kane.
He shot Colt's dreams down many times.
Yeah. Well, if you look at, the reason Harry Kane looks up to Tom Brady is because he's done it all in his mentality, and he has a very similar story to Harry Kane. I remember there was an article a long way back, kind of about Harry Kane's growing up and how he was constantly told he wouldn't do it, and he couldn't make it. And there's a similar documentary out there about Tom Brady where he was never the guy with the six pack and absolutely jacked in high school. He was a long, lanky guy. He was a tall, lanky guy that kind of looked awkward. Maybe wasn't on paper the guy that could be the best quarterback, but it's about that mentality and doing the work. And exactly. And so unfortunately Harry Kane doesn't have all the accolades that Tom Brady has. I think Harry Kane says, I got to do that, and he still has time. He can, but let's hope it's just with Spurs. But it's interesting.
I just think Kane's mentality is so deadly because all the players that play for the Bad for Tottenham, are his personality, his leadership is so contagious. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yes, that's a great word. That's a great word.
I love it too because, and this is kind of back to the Super Bowl, but there's a guy, forget who it was on Chiefs, who was kind of taunting with Brady, and Brady is so good mentally that it just doesn't bother him. And I look at Kane the same way because, I mean, soccer's different in a way. Yes, you might complain a couple fouls of the ref and stuff, but you rarely see Kane,
give in to any sort of pressure.
It's something that again you can't teach, and I really truly believe that with his impact just being on the field, just bumps up the morale of the team. Guys, we can do this, and part of me thinks too that kind of what Posh was thinking back in the Champions League final, which is a different story, but
yeah. Don't talk about that night.
Yes, maybe Lucas Moura should have played, or started, but it is what it is. But that it's something that I think Jose sees in him, and a lot of people see in him. But Jose is the one that can make him, like he said in the documentary, explode. I can make you.
And explode. He has, in all honesty, he has. I mean, I'm not, I don't know if the correlation's Jose to Kane or Kane to Jose, but having a manager like Jose, Kane took that opportunity at the very least. And you talk about if he is that type of leader that people just follow because they like, good leaders like that, like him, like Hodge, Ronaldo, the Tom Brady, stuff like that. People and athletes like that people follow him like blindly, not blindly in a negative way, but just because it's like, man, these guys are the real deal type of thing. And when you look at Kane, I think when he walks into the locker room, people see him and they say, oh my gosh, that's Harry Kane. Like, I need to step up my game for him. When things go wrong, he's not the one complaining and bitching and about what's going wrong and stuff like that, he's not chucking his water bottle. He's not kicking the trash can. He's not doing that. He's a top class professional, and he's the one saying, let's get it done. Let's fix it. And people, when they see that, they want to respect that, and they respect that so much. They want to play for that. So,
Definitely a role model.
I'm not sure if it's hard to kind of negate the fact that Kane comes back and we start to play well again, but maybe it is related. But in all honesty, having Kane on the field definitely doesn't hurt, and it helps in a lot of ways. But definitely an interesting little tangent we went on with that. I like that.
Well, I mean, like, it makes sense what we're connecting.
Definitely.
And I mean, there's going to be a bunch of people out there that could, that would disagree with that, which is fine.
Totally.
It's open for discussion on purpose. But
yeah, they're just wrong. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Right? Yeah, they're wrong.
I'm kidding. Now, let's move into one more thing before we get to our player ratings and stuff. I kind of want to talk about what we highlighted as so negative in the past few games and past few episodes, and how that has changed and how that needs to keep stay like it is going forward. On Everton is an incredibly important match. In all honesty, every match is important, but an FA Cup tie against a team like Everton, we were talking about it a little bit yesterday when we were kind of planning for this episode, and a win in a tournament like that it's got a different feeling than a win in just a typical 3 points against West Brom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the type of win that can carry you on a run of form for 10 games, through the rest of the season. Especially you compound that with a win against with City on the weekend. I mean, that's, the world's yours after that. I mean, you look at when we beat Chelsea in the Carabao Cup on pens, and after that is when we went on our run. You know what I mean? So you might even argue that this Everton match is most important match of the season, blah, 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 could be. But my point is, we talked about our negative style. There's no style going forward. There's no style defensively. What is the plan here? Our players have no idea what they're doing. There's lack of effort, lack of, ambition, lack of urgency in our players. How are we going to do? And I think every box that we, talked about, maybe minus final passes in the final third, weren't that great still yesterday, but we had so many opportunities because we were pressing and in their side so much that was okay. I think we ticked every box and improved everything. We had a clear style of play. We were high press defensively. Once we won the ball back, we were go on the counter. If it did get into our half, we were composed. We were energetic. We were bust your ass, so you can get to that ball, get to that last tackle, push him wide, whatever it may be. We did it all. And the question is, Matt, are we going to keep this going for Everton and City? Or is Jose going to say, okay, we got 3 points. Now let's try and sit back again and do what we were doing earlier this season?
God, he doesn't do that.
I do too. But what are your thoughts?
Well, there needs to be a system. And past couple games, there wasn't a system. And I'm glad that we have found kind of a system. And I'm glad that it worked. Because I feel like it just shows to Jose, and Jose probably knew this prior, was we're good enough to play the high pressing football.
Exactly.
And I mean, that's what the top teams are doing. I mean, that's what Liverpool's doing, Man City's doing, United's doing. And heck, even in different leagues as well. I mean, the Milans, Barcelona, Real Madrid. I mean, they're high pressing teams. And yes, West Brom, maybe not the strongest opponent to play against.
Right.
But a scoreline, 2-0 is a scoreline. 2 goals and a clean sheet,
can't ask for much more.
We all know the Premier League is very, very tough, and Sheffield can come and win against United 2-1 at United. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
And a nice 2-0 solid win with a positive performance under our belt. I think so many things went the way we needed to.
Totally.
To where I could see us very confident going into Everton. I could see us look very good. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves because, I don't want to be disappointed. But I really think that we'll look – I think we'll have a strong lineup, and I think we'll look good against Everton because that game is going to set the standard for Saturday, which is against City. So, I mean, the players and the, staff know that the week is not going to be easy. and coming off a nice 2-0 win against a team that is probably going to get relegated, is just a good confidence boost, a good morale boost.
Yeah, totally.
And so
that's a good segue, honestly, into our play ratings, don't you think?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right. Here we go, Matt. Hugo. 3, 2, 1, 6.
8.
Really, 8? Wow.
Clean sheet, baby.
Yeah, I mean, clean sheet. He just didn't have to do that much, which is not a bad thing. I'm happy to give him a 6 because he didn't have to do much. But
I'm really grading that off his clean sheet. We haven't had a clean sheet in a while.
That's true. That's true. Ben Davies.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, 6. Yeah, he didn't play terrible. Clean sheet again. You got to give him credit for that. But, again, he's not. He's just there. Yeah, and I honestly think he's over.
I'm waiting till when Reguilon comes back. I'm waiting till Davies starts thinking, okay, what do I need to do to play more? Because Reguilon's going to play more than him.
Well, I think it's more so than that. He's exhausted. I mean, he's played every single game, in every spot, and it's just that's exhausting. So I think he's overworked right now more than anything. But all right, Toby. 3, 2, 1, 8.
7.
Yeah, I thought he played well. Great. Sanchez. We're gonna go clean sheet on all these defenders at least. That's huge. Sanchez. 3, 2, 1, 6.
7.
Yeah, he had a couple mistakes, like I said, but it all depends on the intentionality of the offsides too. He missed some headers that I'd really like him to get. I think he can get, but you got to remember Sanchez is young, which I always forget. But we'll talk about that in our fan episode because some people have brought up some really good points. I can't wait to talk to you about. All right, Aurier.
Tough because he got injured.
Yeah, he played really well though. I mean,
well.
you know me. I'm not the biggest Aurier fan, but heck,
awesome.
I'll give him a great score if he deserves it.
He's been performing well.
All right, Aurier. 3, 2, 1, 9.
7.
It's not a bit much, maybe. I don't know. I just really liked it. And
that's fine.
All right.
7s are good. 9s are good. 9s are great.
TOTWBA. This is tough because I can't give out too many 9s, but at the same time, he played so well. Yeah, but if you give out too many 9s, then the value of a 9 kind of goes down a little bit. You know what I mean?
Fair.
All right. 3, 2, 1, 9. You can't not, Hey, all right, Tanguy. 3, 2, 1, 8.
7.
He may not be on the spotlight as much in that 8 role next to Signet. I call him an 8 because he's so good going forward that I don't really think he's a 6. You know what I mean? Even though you look at the formation on paper, it is a 2. So, but I just think he's not in the spotlight as much, but still, he's so good, and he's got that in his bag to just next thing you know, oh my God, how do you do that? We're in, we score, type of thing. Sonny. Now wait, let's take a sec because he is back on the score sheet, Matt.
I know.
That is huge. That is huge for him.
Confidence booster.
Oh yeah. 3, 2, 1, 8. Honestly, so happy to see Sonny like that. I think we should make him the cover of our thumbnail today, don't you think?
I need to get like a little background of that.
Yeah, totally. All right, Harry Kane.
YouTube will not understand what I'm talking about.
Okay. Harry Kane. 3, 2, 1, 8. I'm only giving it one more 9, and I already know who it is. So
I think I know who it is too.
Oh yeah, you think? All right. Well, I guess we'll see. Lamela.
Go ahead.
3, 2, 1, 9.
8.
Did you know it was gonna be Lamela?
I had a feeling.
Yeah, he deserved it. It makes me happy to see that.
Lucas, but I was like, no, it's gonna be Lamela.
Yeah, and I don't know. Lucas did have an assist, which was really good, but I think just overall sometimes what Lamela can bring is really good. Lucas. 3, 2, 1, 8. Dude, these high numbers are so nice. I hate giving 5s and 4s to our players. but it's nice to be able to give these high numbers. Jose. 3, 2, 1, 7.
8.
I think he deserves an 8, but I'm giving him a 7 because I'm challenging him here. I know he's not. He's not watching this, so but I'm challenging him because he's got to keep this up for multiple games. He's got to keep this up and somehow keep us doing this, and that's his job. And if he can do that, then he'll get a better score. But I think he can, and I kind of want to use this as that sort of challenge thing. But the subs, Doherty and Dane Scarlett, which we got to mention Dane Scarlett. I mean, huge congratulations to him for first Premier League start. I mean, that's incredible. Really is. And then also Bergwijn came in for Lamella. So we don't really need to rate any of them, though. I mean, barely played. But, yeah, let's go with our man of the match.
Do you know yours?
Yeah. I'm going with Lamella.
You are? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it's a Lamella kind of day, huh?
Hey, when's the last time Lamella had his day?
That's true. It's been a while. All right. Who do you got?
Man of the match for me will probably be Mr. Harry Kane.
Yeah, can't go wrong with Kane there.
Kane. My gosh. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory why he should be there, but if you guys really want to know, it's because he's the best striker in the world.
There you go. That's it. He said it. There it is. All right. Now let's do play of the game. I got mine. I'm gonna go with Harry Kane's chest pass to Lucas that he chested it on the ground around the West Brom player in Lucas Moore's feet. That's incredible. I don't know how purposeful it was, but I mean, heck, it was great.
This might not be a play of the game, but I'm gonna put it as play of the game. It was in the first half, and Kane got a rocket of a shot off and went near post. It was quick.
Yeah, hit the post.
No, didn't hit the post. Keeper saved it. It was an easy save for the keeper, but it was just the ability to get the ball and take a quick shot on target with that power is so hard to do. And I feel like the only way to really express that is to be in that position and try to do it. I mean,
true.
I mean, I wish we could try to kind of play the video and show what I'm talking about, but the whole scenario, he was towards the corner of the inside the box, towards the corner of the 18, and the shot was on his right foot, and he just banged it. And I mean, it went near post, and keeper saved it with no issues. But being a striker at that angle with that power, and that quickness. I mean, Kane's kind of slow. It's kind of Kane's not slow. He's not fast as others.
Yeah.
I thought was remarkable. Again, that's back to my piece of shooting, and that's our 6 shots on target. I knew that's back to my piece of shooting. Him doing that just brings confidence to maybe Son next time in an angle like that. Oh, I'm going to hit this because Kane can,
True.
So maybe something very small that many of you might not remember or might remember. Something to think about.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Our favorite part, Matt. And finally, we have a lot to choose from for this one. You know what I'm going to say, though? Hidden gem, baby.
I love the hidden gem.
I do now because there's so much to choose from.
Pretty sick merchandise with
I agree. I think
I might have to get a hat or something with hidden gem.
Yeah, mug maybe.
We hype.
All right.
The hidden gem. Okay, I think I know who I might say.
It doesn't have to be a player, remember?
That's true.
It can be a mentality. It could be an event. It could be a feeling. It could be anything. That's what I love about it. You got yours?
Yeah, mine is a player, but I got mine. But
all right, go ahead.
You first.
All right. I got a couple that could be. I mean, this whole game could be hidden gem, in all honesty. The fact that we were able to respond after such poor form. A lot of times teams will just go into that and they won't really come out of it. And we didn't come out of it with a draw. We came out of it with a win, and a clean sheet, and that's important. But more specifically, I think I'm going to do our style of play because I feel like that is so important. Huh?
For you.
You said yours was a player.
Yeah, in my head, I'm thinking maybe I should do the system that we have now. And then
Well, that's too late. Hey, you told me you want to hear it. So the style of play and the system that we had, because it's important for us as fans and for players and the team in general to succeed, because I don't think we have good enough defense to succeed in a defensive way like Jose might want us to or thinks we could. So let's see if Jose can pivot. Let's see if, he may be a little old in his age, but let's see if he's still got it, to turn and pivot and make some changes in his style of play and our team style of play. What do you got?
While you were talking, I was thinking about my hidden gem, and I kind of switched. But now I don't know if I want to go with this one player.
You got to go with it. You got to go with it.
I'm going to say Serge Aurier.
I love that.
He gets a lot of hate from you and I.
Not hate, criticism. We don't hate him.
Constructive
Come on.
criticism.
Yeah.
Also known as hate in slang terms. But, it's seeing him. He
stepped up his game.
He definitely stepped up a game, but seeing him to be able to do what we are expected out of a right back,
yeah.
When we're watching, any game.
Did you see?
Go ahead.
Did you see that early in the game when he kind of took the ball and he looked across the pitch and he was able to slot that ball to Kane? Like it wasn't really a cross because it didn't go in the box, but it was like a switch almost, and that's great. That's great. I mean, that's awesome.
I mean, you're spot on. I just think he deserves some spotlight for sure. And I know you've given him a good rating the past couple games, but it's something that I want to focus on, and that's why he's my hidden gem. I think he absolutely deserves it, and
definitely,
I'm hoping Matt Doherty can kind of get into the play sometime soon, because I love the competition between them two, because they both play well. Back when Aurier was playing, when we played against United, that type of Aurier, I think that is who we're looking at. And hopefully in the next couple of games, we can still see that. And
well, I don't know what level his injury is, but
yeah, that's true. He is out right now. So, but yeah, my hidden gem will definitely be Serge. He deserves it.
I love it. Love the episode. Love all that we said. So I'm looking forward to, this kind of fan comment and questions too from all Spurs fans. So guys, thanks for listening. You know the drill, but this time, we changed our Twitter and Instagram handles. They're actually the same thing now, @_Tottenham_talk. So be sure to check us out there and on YouTube now. So thanks for listening. And now we can say it with some more confidence and joy. As always, come on, you Spurs.